Today, Richard from K9S Pet Services has come to talk to us about dog training and specifically about his assistance dogs training. So thanks for coming along, Richard.
You're welcome, Alan.
So tell us a little bit about your business, how you came to do dog training.
Right, I started dog training probably about 12, 13 years ago. Got my first dog, German Shepherd, who was a rescue, left in a carver's box. Realised I didn't know much about that particular breed, dog growing up. But I went to a specialist training rescue centre, trained German Shepherds for security work.
Okay.
Also bred gun dogs,
Yeah,
and prison service dogs. So I kind of learned from there, and I volunteered in the rescue, picked up all the information that I could, and then just escalated from there. I decided it was something that I love doing.
Yeah.
I love working with dogs, and I love the way that they can change people's lives.
Yeah.
So I went from normal volunteering, started my own business training, built up a few classes, then escalated into assistance dog training, and it's going from strength to strength.
Excellent. And now you train assistance dogs.
We train assistance dogs. We do normal behavioural work, normal training group classes, but we have our own assistance dog program, which is tailor-made to the individual's requirements. There's so many charities out there, so many dogs, but there's also so many people with loads of disabilities, and the charities, some of them have just switched off their waiting lists. They're just so long.
Right. So what is meant by an assistance dog?
An assistance dog is a dog that helps someone in their daily lives. They have to have a set criteria where they can assist a person. They have to do a set amount of things to be classed as an assistance dog. You can't just put a vest on and say it's my assistance dog because I want to take it in the shops. They have to help them in some way, physically, mentally, combination of the two, in daily chores, just day-to-day living. So simple things like getting something from the fridge, or helping with the washing, or medication, or the doorbell goes and the person's deaf, or anything like that. As long as it helps them, then that's classed as an assistance dog.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So is there a particular breed? Is there any dog can do it? No dog can do it? Well, obviously some dogs can do it, but you know what I mean? Yeah. You have to do certain tests. There's always the favourites, which are the Labradors, the Golden Retrievers, the German Shepherds, working breeds, but there are a lot of dogs that can actually make the grade if they've got the right mentality. They've got to have the right connection. So don't just think if you see a Labrador or that it has to be an assistance dog, or if you see someone with a different particular breed, doesn't mean it's not an assistance dog. It is just literally that any dog with the right training, right mentality, right focus, and right bond with the owner and the trainer, they can actually become an assistance dog. Okay. So it's more to do with temperament? More to do with temperament,
More to do with the bond, the dog's willingness to learn, willingness to work with the owner or handler or whatever the case may be. But it's having that connection. So you could get a dog that's a rescue and you know nothing about, that can actually make the grade.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was always assuming it's from puppet.
You can do. A lot of them do. Most of the charities have their own breeding program, but even then, not every puppy that they actually breed will actually make the grade.
Yeah.
My own assistance dog for my own medical condition is a German Shepherd, and she is 2 this month, and I rescued her in October. So she was 19 months before she even started training.
So the whole can't teach you an old dog new tricks, doesn't it?
Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. That is just an old tale that people have said over the years. So you can train a dog, but not every rescue dog will make the grade. But not every dog that's bred from the right parents will make the grade. It's individual, just like the handlers are individual, so are the dogs.
And so you need an assistance dog, or you as a trainer know someone needs an assistance dog. What's the start? How do you start?
Some people go out and get their dog from their breeding lines that they would like. Some people actually source their dog and then they start looking for a trainer. I would actually suggest it's the other way around. Find the trainer, discuss it with them, find what's best for that person's disability or mobility or whatever the case may be, and find a dog that's going to be suitable for that purpose. Some people aren't going to be suitable to have a big dog because of living situations, and some people might not be keen on smaller dogs. So everything's individual. If the owners want to get an assistance dog for a family member, speak to the trainer, find out what's best for them, and if need be, we would actually help them source the correct dog, even if it was a rescue or finding a puppy that we thought would actually make the grade for it.
Yeah, okay. And the first, like day one, you've got the dog, and you know what you're training it for, because I'm assuming the training is geared towards the issue. What happens?
The first process is early socialisation, and that is key with any dog, any puppy, no matter what they are. You want to have a dog that is happy, well socialised, and socialisation is not just going to the park and playing with other dogs. It is day-to-day living, high streets, buses, trains, airports, anything allowed. We take going into a shop for granted, but if you imagine how sensitive a dog's hearing or smell can be, going into a supermarket, that is a completely different ballgame. They could be absolutely overwhelmed with their senses. Their nose could be going haywire, their ears could be going, trolleys, people talking, bidding, checkout buzzers, tannoys, alarms.
Yeah.
We don't even think about it.
No.
For a dog, it's completely different.
Yeah, I can imagine it is. And
so early socialisation is always the key, basic training, and then just build it up to the specific requirements of the individual.
So the specific, that's a good word, isn't it? Specific requirements is right towards the end.
Yeah. We like to do early socialisation. So I have carried puppies around the shops, in high streets, just so that there's noise going on, just so they get used to it. And then we build up the basic obedience, the sits, the downs, the stays, the waits, all that kind of stuff. And then we get it geared to what the owner wants when the dog starts getting a little bit more mature, getting a little bit older in with the hormones going into the brain, because they're going to have growth spurts, not just physically but mentally, where they're going to absorb lots of information, and then they're going to go backwards again. But that's just any dog will do that. Any dog will do it.
And when we're out and about and we see an assistance dog, maybe you're walking through Waitrose and I see you, is there something I should do or something I shouldn't do? Ignore you or the dog?
Both,
preferably.
Right? Okay. There's people know they shouldn't touch guide dogs, and assistance dogs is exactly the same. You shouldn't touch one. They're working. They are doing a specific role, and just because you can't see them doing it does not mean they're not doing it. Medical assistance dogs, they detect people's bloods, like my German Shepherd. She'll pick up on my blood. If someone's distracting her, she's not focusing on me. Right. So coming along, petting the dog, talking to me, that is putting the dog off. That's like you being on your computer and me coming along and prodding you while you're doing your emails. You're not going to concentrate, you're not going to get the right work sorted, and it's just going to go a little bit pear-shaped.
And we know it's an assistance dog because it's got...
They've always got their vests on. Our dogs always have their vests. We had our uniform as well, saying that the dog's in training, and when the dog's passed its training, they'll have a different vest to say that they've passed. And every now and then they'll have to have an assessment just to make sure they've made the grade and that they're still keeping to that grade. If you see a dog and someone tells you that it's medical assistance, please do not ask, oh, what's it for? Because that is an infringement of someone's personal life. They see a dog, medical assistance, oh, what's it detecting? That's someone's personal life. Just say it's medical. Just ignore it. You wouldn't tell a complete stranger your medical history, but you'd be surprised how many people do.
Oh, really?
They just ask you because they want to know about the dog, but it is actually quite a personal matter.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, what's
Shelby.
Shelby. So, what's Shelby been trained for?
Shelby's a year old now.
Yeah.
I've been training her since she was 14 weeks with basic obedience. She does public assessments, public access.
Public access.
Public access. So she does public access, which is basically she'll go into all the supermarkets, wherever her mum goes.
Yeah.
Her mum is in a wheelchair.
Right.
She's also got lots of medical conditions where she might pass out.
Right.
So at the moment, Shelby's a year old. She is helping her with the day-to-day chores, picking things up, doing the post, go shopping with her. Builds her confidence more than anything, because she's got someone she can rely on.
Yeah. Okay.
And she will also start helping. The next stage will be helping doing the washing, putting the washing up and helping her collecting the basket, carrying it in, picking up the post, collecting medication from the cupboard, all that kind of stuff. Again, things that we take for granted, but someone who's got severe mobility issues, they will find it hard.
Yeah. Wow.
So she is just turned a year. She's a very good little dog, very eager, loves people.
Yeah.
Very well behaved. And she'll have her first test in a couple of weeks. We will test her to make sure that she's on the right standard to get there. And then probably by the time she's 2, I'd like to think she's passed completely and be a fully trained, fledged assistant dog.
And is there ongoing training after that point?
We have to do an assessment every now and then just to make sure that they've kept up their training. If there's anything that needs refreshing, we'll go over. Not only to make sure that they're getting the good bond with their owner and keeping up what they should be trained for, but we've also got to think about, are they safe within the public environment? Are they doing what they're meant to? Are they going up to the chickens in the supermarket and licking them? And then you pick it up and buy it.
Yeah.
So we do have to make sure every now and then that they're tested, make sure they're still up to standard, and if there's anything that needs refreshing, we'll go over it.
Excellent, good. And you don't just do this, obviously you do lots of dog training.
Yeah, we do lots of normal dog training. We do puppies, we do adults, we do advanced adults. We'll start our agility again soon. We do scent training, general dog training. We also do behavioural work if a dog's got a particular issue, barking, growling, reactive, or whatever the case may be.
I imagine doing stuff with the assistance dogs has given you a bit more in-depth sight of how to deal with dogs even more than you had before. Yeah,
you've got to know how their brain works. You've got to know what makes them tick. Some dogs will do anything for food. Some will do anything for a toy. Some will do anything just for a little cuddle.
Yeah.
And it's reading the body language. They communicate by body language. We have a tendency to talk way too much when we train our dogs. You're actually better off saying very little and just using body language to communicate so they can understand what's required of them.
And you've got treats in there?
I use treat, positive reinforcement, and clicker based. So the clicker means that she's doing something right. And with the clicker, if I wanted her to open a cupboard, I would start by letting her just sniff the cupboard by putting something tasty on there. When she sniffed it, click, treat. Over a period of time, put a toy on there, puts the toy in her mouth, click, treat. And then keep pushing her so she'll end up grabbing the toy, pulling the cupboard door open, opening it, then it'll progress onto putting heading, medication, all that kind of thing.
So it's quite a long process.
Yeah, it's not quick. It's not a quick job. It's not something you can say, right, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to train my dog to be an assistance dog. It takes lots of dedication, takes a lot of time. Anyone who's worked with any animal knows it's not a straight line. It's up and downs, up and downs, up and down. And it is just being tolerant of their behaviour. They're going to have good days, they're going to have bad days, just like us. Yeah. So you've got to learn their body language and learn how to speak to them individually.
Yeah.
Not verbally, but by body.
Yes. Excellent. And if people wanted to get in contact to do with general training or the assistance dogs, how would they do that?
We've got a Facebook page. We have K9S Pet Services. We are on Instagram. Website www.k9spetservices.co.uk.
Yeah.
We get calls, messages, emails all the time. We're very busy. If we do get some messages, just like anyone.
Yeah.
If we don't answer, it's not that we're ignoring you. We've got a lot to do. We will get back to you as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So, and if I'm working with a client, I'm not going to stop
No, of
and
course.
answer the phone. So.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you for coming, Richard.
Thank you very much.